Good afternoon, Heat Nation, folks, folkettes, and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, the host of My Worthless of a Penny, the host of this, My Worthless of a Penny, part 64. Again, I confirmed the number before calling it out. And I'm going to ask you to please follow us on Facebook at Mahapanies, on Instagram at Mahapanies1. And today, after 50 games, we're 32 games away from the end of the season. April is coming, February is here. The trade uh, kind of the trade season has kind of gotten started, right? Because at the end of the day, what happened was that we saw yesterday, right? One trade. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Atlanta Hawks um, that I saw this morning, but I don't remember yesterday. It was the Andre Hunter for Schroeder, if I'm not mistaken, right? So a couple of teams already started to move. And I'm not going to talk about Giannis today. Today, I'm just going to talk about the Bulls. I didn't want to record a video before this because it's kind of like I've already recorded a pregame against the Bulls, right? We know what the Bulls are. The Bulls are going to continue being the same thing pretty much, especially because we're tied 1-1 right now. As long as they play against us, it's pretty much going to be the same assessment. It's pretty much going to be the same game. And it's true. This one was, to me, a very similar game than as the game that we have on Thursday, because the Bulls now started kind of pulling away. We had a great second quarter, a very poor third quarter that kind of put us where we were, but then an interesting fourth quarter. And now we did to them what they did to us, except we actually tied the game a couple times before actually being um, beat, right? Uh, but that's not the story of the game. I think most people know what the story of the game is. And let's just talk a little bit about how the game played out. Now, number two, which is I think very important when we're talking about this one. Of course, I'm recording this video right now because I want to talk about the game from yesterday. But I mean, come on, we didn't have Davion Mitchell. We didn't have Tyler Hero, which we hadn't have throughout the season, and I think he would have made a huge difference to this roster. Whether that roster could compete to the level that some Heat fans wish this team could compete, I don't think so. But still, I mean, having Hero never hurts. But then you also lose Norman Powell for personal reasons, as Andy Nichols jumped. Oh, now Norman is probably going to be traded. But honestly, we don't know. We kind of know that insiders know more about what's happening than us and cannot talk about certain things once they get more concrete. It's so interesting. They will spill rumors out, and and kind of let everybody tear their faces off thinking about those rumors. And then at the end of the day, when it's something actual and real that those people know, they are not going to say anything until it's actually done, right? But anyway, Myron Gardner was the one chosen, not Jovic, not Fontecchio, like it was in the past. Myron Gardner was the one chosen. Well, it would kind of make sense, but we did have Kaz. So, again, obviously, Myron Gardner being chosen was a very interesting choice. He played 22 and a half minutes. He had a -4 with 12 points and 11 rebounds, two of those offensive. Cannot discard Myron Gardner's greatness, being a two-way contract and performing the way he's been performing. -12 to Andrew Wiggins in contrast, but 17 points. He had one assist, one rebound, and it was a defensive rebound. I'm not going to talk about rebounds because I got lost at a certain point. So, Bam Adebayo -8 with 21 points. It did have a couple of very important plays in the game. I think Bam Adebayo, saying that Bam Adebayo is inconsistent offensively is a disservice to reality. Pelle Larson with a -3 on 22 points this time, right? I mean, basically, what? Bam Adebayo shot 39% from the field. Kel'el Larson shot 63% from the field. Myron Gardner shot 80% from the field. It's very interesting, right? Kaz had a +2 with 6 points. Jaime Jaquez Jr. had a -5 with 20 points. 21 to Bam Adebayo, 22 to Kel'el Larson. Jaime Jaquez with 20. I start, you know, it's complicated to judge Spo or to criticize Spo in general because we have a team right now that has good offensive power, but we're still missing our two most offensively oriented players, right? Norm and Hero, and we're missing our actual point guard, and so there's a mix of a first year rookie and an undrafted player in Drew Smith. It's just interesting to me that we're still able to have four people in double digits, right? Andrew Wiggins with 17. Actually, no, five, because Myron Gardner with 12 as well. So, yeah, five people with double digits and three above 20. So, we did not have, I mean, what I'm trying to say is this not having normal Powell in particular, because, and he needed a break, okay? I don't know if he's playing tonight. Honestly, don't think that that's important right now because this team, the way that it is right now, is not going to be much above 500 at the end of the season, and it is going to be in the play-in unless there's a miraculous trade. And even if there is a miraculous trade, I don't think that you're going to see the effects of this trade so much this year as we'll see them next year. Although a healthy Giannis is immediately impactful, right? Then we have Kel'el, which is where we're going to talk about. Because so far we saw people playing above 27 minutes, right? Of course, 32, almost 33 to Wiggins, 36 to Bam, almost 33 to Kel'el Larson, 27, almost exactly 27 minutes for Kaz. Jaime Jaquez did 32 minutes. And then Kel'el Ware with 3 minutes and 11 seconds, -2, 8 points. 8 points. Okay. Drew Smith, Simone Fontecchio with a -2 and 8 points, right? Oh, sorry. Kel'el Ware had -2 and 2 points. Sorry. -2 and 2 points. Simone Fontecchio had a -2 and 8 points. Drew Smith had a +3 and 8 points. Nikola Jovic had a -4 and 2 points. I'm not going to talk about the Bulls because I don't think it's important. I think that they won specifically because of the fact that we couldn't generate offense at will as much as we can when we have normal Powell, especially when normal Powell is healthy. But even not being healthy, he always gets to 20. And so we missed a guy that can get you 20. And we kind of swapped it for Kel'el Larson, getting about 10 more points than he usually gets, or 7, 8 more points than he usually gets. But, of course, the story of the night yesterday was Kel'el Ware. And suppose before explaining is that the game was too quick, the game was not there for him, something along the lines that we have to find a lineup that works, but the lineups haven't been working with Kel'el Ware. And yet, Jovic, who's proved less than Kel'el Ware this season, got 15 minutes. Of course, Drew Smith is going to get almost 20 minutes. There's no question about it. But Simone Fontecchio is proving a lot less than Kel'el Ware this season, has gotten 18 minutes. And then Spo says every interview is going to basically start with, or it's going to include Kel'el Ware, and I don't want that. The problem with a coach like Spo that's been here for so long and feels like he kind of takes the job for granted in a way. I mean, I think that psychologically that's inevitable. You get signed again for I don't know how many years. Once you're ready with the organization for 18 years, it gets in your head. I mean, what can get... I've lost. I've had my issues. And yet I'm still here. I still have the trust of the organization. He's going to probably get worried when Pat Riley retires. But that's it. Until Pat Riley doesn't retire, until that day, I don't think Spo is worried about it. He's too secure. I said it a lot last season, but not this season. However, it's difficult to criticize Pope because he always gets players to play the best that they can, and and the development has been there. It's been kind of crazy. It's not just him, but he allows that development to take place, just like he allowed that development to take place with Kel'el Ware this season. And in many stretches, the Kel'el Ware was there. We were actually winning, and then Kel'el Ware was moved to the bench. We're actually losing, even though Jablanca is still going to put he's bad or the plus minus is lower and etc. When we're and I agree, you have to respect statistics because they explain a lot of what a game is. But singular where is a bad player, it's just not what we see. We see probably I don't remember who said it, but probably one of the best centers in the NBA, shooting the three. It's just an amazing player, one of the best rebounders this season. A person that has the length, the awareness, and as long as he's present, he's going to get you steals and blocks. He's going to be good on defense, and he's going to be good on offense. Yes, it's true. He can have nights off, but Spo is not allowing him to. And so, and Spo says, I don't want this to be an interview that starts every time with with Kel'el Ware as a topic. Spo is kind of forgetting who he is. You don't want that. Uh, that's not the question, Spo. The question was about Ware. Respect the journalist, my man. Respect the journalist. I might never be you. I don't have your knowledge. I don't know what's going on inside there. You know better. But the journalist asks a question. Your job is to answer it or to say, I'm not going to answer it. I don't want you don't want to have to. You have no free will when it comes to others. Your free will is when it comes to you. That's what a free press means. And yet we still don't see reporters asking the hardest questions about injuries, uh, about Weir pressing Spo and not letting Spo get to the next topic until he doesn't clarify. Like all of us are children, all the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why the heck is Weir not getting minutes? Does he really have an allergy that requires an EpiPen for because he's allergic to pigs? To me, that's really a big mystery. I have on Twitter. I'm going to post here. Heat Lifer, I think he's from Costa Rica, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember the flag correctly. Heat Lifer, and he had a whole rant about how Weir is not playing, and Spo, and I'm sorry, he's right, and he's very critical of Spo. I can't be critical of Spo as much as he is because I do see what Spo does and how he does well with the team, and I see how players and other coaches view Spo. It's so much respect because he deserves it, but you cannot tell me that there is not something that what could be happening in my mind. I keep thinking, conspiracy theories, they happen specifically when we don't know anything, right? To fill that void of not knowing. So one of my conspiracy theories, except I know it's a conspiracy theory, so I don't think it's a real one, is that Ware is not playing so many minutes not to get injured because he's to be included in a trade soon. I don't believe that. I'll believe it if, like, oh, he has this mysterious injury and he's not playing. But if you actually put him on the floor for 3 minutes, he makes a couple of mistakes and you take him out for the rest of the night, you're not being fair with Ware at all. Again, a rhyming sequence of words. You're not being fair with Ware, Mr. Spolstra. You're not. And I really wish the first question, every single time this happens, especially if Ware stays with us past Thursday, just coming up in 5 days, 5.5 days, right? That every single question starting an interview has to be about why didn't Ware get minutes? Just as a principle and to teach Spo what a free press means. We shot, again, I don't think it's important to add this information to this particular time, but all the shot charts, and how many times we shot. I think we shot 95 times, right? Shot 95 times, and we got, I think, 13 out of 40, 40 something, 43. But in any case, there were 7 lead changes. The biggest lead was Miami's 11, and straight away they scored 10 straight points. The longest run was 12. The biggest lead for the Bulls was 9, and times tied were 6 times. So this is it as it pertains to the Bulls, as it pertains to Kel'el Ware, as it pertains to any kind of trade, because we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to talk more about. I'm not going to. I don't record videos just for the sake of recording. I like recording because when I have something to say, if I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to record. If I'm feeling a little bit sick, I'm not going to record. That's just the way it is, man. But still, stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy as possible. It's a very complicated world of ours. And let's go Heat.